Alrighty everybody, so today we're going to be working on the RZ350. I did a few things to it already, and I'll give an update on that, but we're going to be doing just a handful of things today and kind of really getting a good idea of what I have for this bike, kind of what's in store for it and those sorts of things. So let's get into it. So I went ahead and the first thing I did was I took all the plastics off of it. I took the tank off of it, again the front plastic, etc. Just to kind of get a good idea of kind of like what I'm working with as mechanically speaking, aside from the plastics, the cosmetics itself. So I went ahead and actually saran wrapped them up for now. Don't exactly know if I'm going to find new plastics or if I'm going to be able to if I'm going to reuse them. Not positive yet, so just wanted to make sure everything was in good shape in case they got wrecked or something like that. They're saran wrapped, so that was kind of the key there. So right now, what I'm going to do, as you can see, no oil. I drained the oil on this bike. It is running. I did get it running, and we'll definitely have videos of it running. But kind of my first step is I want to get the clutch freed up. So the bike itself I know runs, and it runs actually pretty good, but the clutch is stuck. So I want to free up the clutch, then go run it down the road and make sure, mechanically speaking, everything actually functions the way it's supposed to. And then we can go ahead and actually take out the motor, do all that sort of thing. So I got a few little things to do. I'm going to pull off the clutch, drain some fluids out of it. Unfortunately, got to drain the radiator fluid, which is going to suck, but got to do it. So we'll drain the radiator fluid and go from there, free of the clutches, and then we're going to take it for a test ride and see if it works. All right, so I got the side of the motor pulled off here. A little bit of, gunkiness in the bottom, debris, which, you kind of have some sort of expectation that there will be. Obviously, I don't really like that, but just kind of flaky material. Probably somebody didn't change the oil very often on this. Part of the problem. I can also tell that this clutch was pulled off at one point. As you can see, these are the original bolts. These are not. So these three are definitely new. So I can tell that this motor has been worked on at some point, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. This bike's got like 40,000 miles on it, so kind of had that sort of expectation going into it. There's going to be some work, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and get all these bolts off and free up this clutch here so we can get it tested. So I just pulled out all the clutches out of here, and I really wanted to show, because this is a really good example of how these clutches get stuck. So I'm going to hold the camera between my legs so I can use two hands here. But you can see how I just pulled that apart, and I can't hardly, it took me a little bit to pull it apart, a little bit hard to pull it apart, but you see how that plate is, oh, there it just dropped, right? So that's how these are supposed to come apart. That's supposed to come off really nice and easy, but unfortunately, when they stick together, they don't do that. So going ahead and we'll clean up a bunch of this stuff too as well, just to make sure everything looks good. But yeah, see, that one's a little bit more stuck. That one's stuck. And it doesn't take a whole lot. That's the key too. It does not take a lot to get these clutches to stick. So fortunately, these ones are actually in pretty decent shape. So we'll go ahead and get these all kind of sanded up and cleaned up. That one's actually stuck. So that was probably a large majority of our problem there. So let's go ahead and get these all cleaned up, put back in. As you can see all that rust there on these steel plates. That's actually what is causing it to cause to stick. This bike's been sitting for probably 10 years, so I'm really not surprised. But to be 1000% honest, these plates look pretty good compared to some of them that I pulled out before. Alrighty, so got the side on, oil is in there, refilled up the antifreeze, and we are going to put the battery in it and let this thing go. I got my really sweet fuel system. It's from Kirkland here, so it's got the no idea how much oil is in this gas, premix kind of thing, so probably way more than necessary. But yeah, so let's get the battery put in here and we'll crank it up and go for a test drive. Right, so everything is put back in here, so we're just going to start it up and see if it will run on my makeshift thing here. On. Oh, choke. Oh, it runs. Let's do one really quick thing. Let's zip tie them up. Put that on there. All right, let's take it for a little ride. Just rear brakes. Wow. This thing's got some power. Wow. Well, it's running kind of poorly. Really seems like it's running on one cylinder. The right cylinder seems to be maybe a little bit weaker. I don't know if it's got a fouled plug because it did run good at one point, so I'm assuming it's just fouled plugs. These are the original plugs that are in here. But man, guys, when I did crack the throttle, the whole rear end spun. And I know this is a crappy, like these Metzler tires are all hard from being, from sitting so long. But man, I mean, I cracked it and she laid a little rubber mark. So I can't believe how much power this has for a 1985 bike. I mean, this is freaking fun. Kind of assessing what I got going on here. I think that test run, honestly, for me, is probably good enough to kind of just check over everything runs and it drives, right, etc. So probably going to be yanking the motor here in the next video and kind of doing the teardown of it. But in my assessment phase here, I'm trying to think of everything that I should do to this bike. I'd really like to get the frame painted, the motor painted, exhaust, as well as front fenders, etc. Let me know what you guys think, if I should keep this thing like original looking in terms of the paint scheme, or if I should literally leave it all completely original, you know, like otherwise, you know, touch up the exhaust and things like that, maybe the case side as best I can, and leave everything else. Love to hear your opinion on it. So leave your comments down in the chat. And also, so kind of something cool too, this owner had all of these parts for it. So I like have brand new cables, brand new sides of the cases that were scratched up, new electronic controls. So I have brand new controls, brand new levers, that side. I have the case cover here. I also have this brand new. So I have quite a bit of things. Also brand new mirrors, turn signals. I pretty much everything. This is for the windshield. So there's a lot of cool parts and things that came with this bike that I will be putting on and installing as obviously, but just curious, like really what you guys want to see out of this, and like maybe I can, you know, something reasonable, because obviously I'm fronting the full amount on this bike. I don't have any sponsors with a 106 subscriber YouTube channel, so this is really just for my own sake. So but I'm really torn right now on whether I should do a full rebuild, you know, frame down, repaint everything, or if I should kind of leave it in its original shape. I really don't know. So somebody let me know in the comments what you think, but otherwise feel free to like, subscribe, and comment, please. Love to hear from you guys. Thanks.